Right, after the re-evaluation, and of course, I'm still taking different kinds of antifungals, natural antifungals, and keeping it low on sugar and all that. And of course, it's some time since I did the diflucan, 4 weeks of diflucan. I haven't really experienced much of, you know, negative effect from the diflucan. Some people say they get, and of course, it is a synthetic thing, and I wouldn't really, I don't love doing. I really don't like doing anything in regards of medical mafia and all that. But it is interesting how much they keep this on into themselves. How difficult it was to and see the response from the white coats, the Latin spoutos and all that, or white coat murderers or whatever, butchers, whatever you want to call them and all that. And I might be a little harsh, but they are part of a system that is utterly wicked and, is a money-based system. Now, it's all, they will throw all the, in regards of vaccines and all that, and other insanities like psychotropic drugs and all that. They just throw them out as pills and all that. Yeah, a lot of insanity. But ask about antifungals, and you can expect to be nearly thrown out of the clinic, or told that you pretty much you need to go to a what is it called, psychotherapist in English, and someone that wants to give you a lot of psychotropic drugs because they think it's just all in your head. Apparently that's the diagnosis, that's the misdiagnosis that a lot of people must be getting, which actually don't have a problem up here, they have a fungus issue. But that's the big secret of the medical mafia, because they earn a lot of mammon in regards to that, while they murder a lot of people. And as the Satanists believe, we're too many people on the earth anyway, so who cares if this is a satanic lie, of course, but it makes it easier for people to accept. Oh yeah, well, we're just doing our job, right? Yeah, so did the Nazis when they killed Jews, right? They just did what they were told, right? Sometimes when you're told something, it's not right, okay? Anyway, just because there's no excuse in regards to this is my job, so then it's okay to murder. That just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so I found out how difficult it actually was to get the doctors to prescribe, because again, you can't just go yourself down to the pharmacy and actually get it. You need to have a subscription, a prescription, and. So I was on diflucan for 4 weeks, and overall, all the things that I have done since I started on nystatin and diflucan and all that, I am feeling a lot better in regards to the itch. The itch is still there, but if from going up here, it's lower. Way lower. I'm not thinking about a rope around my neck anymore. No, I would never do it. But, and that might, of course, be one of the things where they think, yeah, you need to go on psychotropic drugs. But it's kind of normal not feeling, whoopsie daisy when you have a problem, right? When you have the itch and nipping and crawling in your, and all that. Of course, anyway. So after the explosion, it was just awful. It was absolutely awful. And what I did was to go to the bakery 5 days in a row, and that was just stupid. And I should have known better. And that, of course, is, in regards to Roman timeline, that would be the last Roman year that happened. Of course, in regards to the biblical year, it would be this year, actually, because the new year begins in spring. So I had this explosion and all that, and I still have, itching on my arms and all that, and I got all these spots that I got on my skin. Usually I didn't have any of these brown spots and all that, and after the explosion, I just got all, daily I could just see more and more spots coming around. And usually I was just white skinned, wonderful white skinned, no dots and all that. And I can't say that anymore. My arms looks more like, but of course people will say, oh, that looks normal, that looks normal. Well, the thing is, they, it came with the things, and after the explosion, they, even more, and you just, I could see from one day to another differences after the explosion. I could just see it. Again, minor things, and you could probably say, well, it's just because you're getting older and all that. But this comes, in regards of the other symptoms. So I think that's absolutely a correlation. It just, it wouldn't make sense in any other way. Yeah. So that's. So I'm trying to get some diflucan again from my white coat, misdiagnoser. They're all misdiagnosed. It's not personal. It's not personal in regards of this guy. They're all pretty much incompetent. There are some things that they actually can do, but overall, I think they're part of a murderous, bloody system. And you really have to remember your brain when you go in there, because your doctor might actually kill you, So take your brain with you when you're going to the doctor's office, because you need it. You need to think when you are in there, and you need to think about, do you actually want to do this? Is there anything that, so anyway, but it was very interesting to see how much struggle I had getting the diflucan. I really had to put some energy into that, and that was, I got for, I ended up upping the dose to the in regards of candidiasis of the so-called clever people. They go, so I actually doubled the dose from what I was thinking of actually doing, because I was like, let's hit it, let's really give it a hit, and if they say it, that's the dose they give to people which have systemic candidiasis. And I had this for 19 years, so I thought, let's just hit it. But 4 weeks, even with a good diet and all that, and other antifungals, was not enough. Now, I do understand that after 19 years, it, can be, become very rooted, because it has 19 years to grow, and I didn't have the best diet in regards. I was feeding it sugar, I became a vegetarian, and I was juice fasting and all that, fruit and all that, of course also vegetables, but I just, whatever I found in the dumpsters, I dumped the diet in the past, and it was actually, I lived like a king at that point. I really lived like a king. That was at the time where it was like really, really, there was just throwing immensely it was incredible how much they threw out. They become a lot better at that. And of course, after the spin-off where they began to go down in regards of work and all that, and people got fired and so forward. And thereby they also became more, there was more focus on the thing. But I got a lot of good juice from that, so anyway. So I was pretty much feeding this monster without really knowing. I didn't really know what to do, You're trying a lot of things, and there's so much disinformation out there. And so if you have fungus and all that, and getting to, if you catch it very early on, I think you can pretty much quickly turn it around. But if you don't know how to catch it very early on, it might root itself really, really deep. And after 19 years, I think, it's either going to kill me or I'm going to get it under control, It's little by little taking over and taking, my life, pretty much. But, I know that many other people have it a lot worse than me, so I shouldn't really complain, But I guess we all have our struggles in life. But the thing is, if the white coats have just known in regards of fungus, they actually started out giving me fungus creams in regards of where it began, or at least where the first symptoms began, because it might actually have, it might have had other places where it was spreading from or whatever, And so I got this itch down in my male part, And it ended up that, I got these different creams for it, but they didn't help. Actually, they ended up making it worse, it seems. So they were actually on the right track in regards of fungal issues. And yet, then they wanted me on psychotropic drugs. Instead of going down to the place where the issue were, they went to the other head. It just doesn't make sense. And of course, psychotropic drugs have a lot of side effects, which I also got from, I took 2 different kinds of psychotropic, and I said no a lot of the times, because every time, you need psychotropic, just this and that. And I was like, what is that going to help? Of course, I'm not funky dory, or what do you call it? Yeah, of course, I'm not happy. I'm coming to you because I have a problem, Doesn't that make sense? Going to the doctor, it's not like I love going to the doctor. I really don't really like going to the doctor. I'm coming to you because I have an issue, you know. And then you want to feed me with, happy pills, as they, that's just casting them out like, like candy in the past. I guess they might still be doing that actually. And there was any side effects? Yeah, there was side effects. I got these blackouts. Now it was not enough to just totally go off, but I got these blackout after I did the psychotropic drugs. Well, after I stopped it, because I knew this, after I had actually, in my young naive state, I ended up doing what because the state said, that I of course should do as my doctor said, while my sanity said that this is utterly foolish to do. And because of authority figures and all that, I ended up doing it and was just utterly stupid. I remember talking to one of these, because the state wanted me to talk to one of these, I guess, brain twisters or whatever, they wanted a evaluation of me or something like that. But he was actually, he was one of the better ones to talk to, at least. But he was like, yeah, we know about that, It was like, in regards to the symptoms, yeah, we know about that, yeah. So why are you giving it to people if you know that these side effects, Yeah, well, I guess money, right? And I wonder what it actually does with your brain in regards of getting into problems, anyway, in regards to this blackout thing and all this, like, the power goes very quickly and then comes on, it's like a fluke, it's like very quickly. Anyway, that has absolutely, that has absolutely become better, and I don't have much of that anymore. But what you have to wonder, what damage did these psychotropic drugs actually do, but I remember after having been on them, having these, and it was not pleasant to have. It's not like it was not like I fell over or anything. I just had these. It's like, like the power was going, like if you see like light, and it just goes off and goes on again, like, it's like very quickly. But I had a lot of those, and it was really unpleasant, and so I pretty much know it was the psychotropic drugs that goes in that direction, cause and effect, right? Science, cause and effect, right? What was the cause? I took some psychotropic drugs with side effects on, and after I stopped taking them, I had this whatever they had messed up in my brain, whatever. Apparently some talks about that actually on purpose, that they make it hard to get off their drugs, so you stay on them, and of course, if you stay on them, well, you give money to this wicked system, of course. Now, so in regards to the diflucan, it's very interesting that I needed to put so much effort into getting it. It's like this satanic, what shall we say, a secret in regards of fungal being an issue in our society, actually a great issue in our society. And you see the so-called health authorities actually going against health, while they actually talk about, that fungus poison can actually cause cancer. Yes, they actually write it directly on their website, that if you take mycotoxins, which is another word for, they like to use these big words, right? So we don't understand anything, right? But mycotoxins means fungus poisons. And if you take fungus poisons over a longer period, you can go get cancer. So what is the cause of cancer? Fungal poison gives cancer. They accept that on the website. This is in regards of food, in regards of being fungus poison in the foods, that some of the foods have more than others and all that of these fungus poison. But I wonder, in regards of, besides the fungus poison that we are ingesting, there's also baby spores, as they call them. And these, of course, these babies, if the immune system can be suppressed enough, gives a chance for the fungi to, make up make up a city or whatever, make a house out of you in some sense. So yeah. And of course, drinking alcohol is absolutely no go as well in regards of fungus. Taking sugar, no go. If you give a cancer patient sugar, you should be in jail pretty much. That's utterly criminal. If you get a patient that is on, that have cancer and you feed them with a lot of sugar, that's utterly criminal. That's actually committing murder, as far as I can see. If you are willingly giving a cancer patient sugar, you are you're just killing the patient. And of course, you would think that the health system would like to help people, right? But of course, if they need a bed for another patient that they can murder and all that, then of course. But it's utterly criminal. It's a bloody criminal system. It's so disgusting. Anyway, so this is the thing that I got in Denmark in regards to berberine, and it was cheap. Well, it was cheaper than the other things and all that, and it pretty much seemed to, all the things that, they talk about, they seem to have focus on that there's not anything in it that, so they write all the things that is not in the product, So that was a pretty good product, Overall, this is antifungal and it works with diflucan and all that. Sadly, I only found out about it the last part of my diflucan and all that. So I think it was less than a week that I ended taking it with the diflucan, and so. I'd also took it afterwards because the diflucan is in the body around 7 days after you stop taking it. It begins, that's the reason why you take a higher dose in the beginning, because you want the diflucan up in the body, so it begins to work at that point, and then you feed it. So it keeps on on the path and killing off fungus. Well, I haven't had anything work or gives that response as the diflucan gave in regards to the fungus. The first 4 days on diflucan was utter horrible, And of course, I expected that something would happen, right? But yeah, that really went haywire, The first 4 days, I remember the fourth day, I was just laying in this bed that I'm sitting in, or sofa or whatever, couch, and I was just laying and looking up, and just all my body was just, it was just going on in all my body. I was like, oh, it's just really, really like, there's so many things, it was just, wow. It was just, on day 5, I got out of the worst, and, you really get thirsty a lot on diflucan as well. So it shouldn't even be, people say you need to drink water when you take diflucan. But that's, of course, I guess that might be a good advice. But in regards to the body, at least for my sake, I wasn't in doubt that my body wanted water. I was drinking a lot of water, that's for sure, I was dry in my mouth, I was thirsty, and, so anyway. So, yeah. So that's, that's the website on this piece of paper or this package, and I didn't really think about it because I contacted the Danish supplier that I got it from in Denmark. But apparently, the food administrations, the mafia that don't like to have the Danish people healthy and don't do their job and all that, they apparently had given him difficulty, so he was not allowed to sell this anymore. Really? And I had I tried to find this berberine and all that, and I finally found a place, and then they stopped selling it. And I'm like, why do you have the product and all that? Well, we're not allowed to sell it, I was like, okay. So I've written to the, those so-called health, institutions and all that loves to bang down doors in regards of cinnamon, because of one single article, as I understand it. I want documentation. Give me some documentation in regards of seeing liver damage in men. In regards if you have one single study, if that is the only single study you have from Germany, and it's in regards of testing in regards of mice, well, I'm not a mouse, In regards to, and then they just go haywire in regards of bakeries. And what do you think is the most healthiest thing in a bakery? Do you think that it might actually be cinnamon? Do you think of, is there any other thing in a bakery that could be as healthy as cinnamon? I can't figure of anything, you know. There's a lot of things that is not healthy in a bakery. But one thing that I would think would be one of the most healthiest things in a bakery would be cinnamon. And yet they break down doors and, persecute the bakeries for using too much cinnamon because we have found liver damage in mice. And I wonder, maybe they fed the mice other things, because these liars have a way of not really disclosing all the truth, all the information. They just do something, and if they want something, just utterly disgusting system and utterly disgusting world we live in. They don't want us, the people, healthy. And they want us, if we focus so much on health and, using all this time, we don't have much time reading the Bible. And if we don't have time reading the Bible, we don't know who the Antichrist is. And if they can destroy our education system, which they have done, we have no clue who the Antichrist is anymore. So, yes, because every single Protestant in the past knew it. They knew who the Antichrist is. They knew what the scriptures said about it. They knew Protestant history. Well, real history. Not adulterated history like, coming from Rome, trying to, polish the thing so we don't see what this wicked whore actually is capable of doing and what she has been doing for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. You see, all the people are now rounding and gathering around the Antichrist. And who is the Antichrist? The papacy. I called it the poopacy, actually. That unholy figure which calls himself the Holy Pope, Well, I call him the Pope, if anything. That unholy, stinking Pope and unholy figure, his outmost smelliness, No, but if people call him, His Holiness, and all these grandiose titles and all that. Anyway, this is a wicked world, and, it's like, it's just incredible. Anyway, so, and people don't want to talk about it and all this. Anyway, I got a little off topic here, but it all hangs together with this diabolical system, So anyway, I'll have to, 120 capsules, 500 milligram of berberine, and it was pretty cheap. I don't know if I buy it from England and all that, and of course they have jumped out of EU or the Roman European Union, which is probably a wise choice, but but it has become so much difficult to trade outside Denmark in regards of Amazon. In the past, Amazon, I could just buy everything and anything on Amazon. There was no problem at all getting things from other nations. And now it's like at least half of the product seems to, we don't send to Denmark. We don't send to Denmark. We don't send to Denmark. That's like, okay, what is going on? Or it's like a visible wall. What is rule? Apparently there's some rules out there that must be going around that, we can't send to Denmark anymore. I wonder, what's this great invincible, what do you call it? Invisible, not invincible, but invisible wall that now have come around so people can't send to Denmark anymore. So I can get the stuff that I have it's just incredible. Anyway, so control, right? So besides banging down the doors of bakeries in regards of cinnamon, right? Which is also antifungal, by the way. They are they are the defenders of Hitler milk, and I wrote to them, and I was I should just have checked the mail before I actually sent it, but because I made some, mistakes in regards of my writing and all that, but whatever. They should be able to understand it. And talking about that, if they really are in regards of health, of course they're not. They're just, I told them, if there's anything wrong with the milk, maybe someone is treating the cows wrong. And then you get it even worse, right? You annihilate enzymes, the vitamins, and of course the good bacteria. And what ends up growing in the milk? Well, the baddies. Yeah, the bad bacteria. Because, apparently some of the babies survives. And now the good guys are not there. And thereby the baddies takes over. Yeah. Because you annihilated all the good guys. Yeah, way to go. Stupidity of man. Satanic bullshit. Oh, you're not allowed to get milk directly, because we, the food administration, but it's law and all that. We just do what the state. I'm tired of your excuses, your bullshitters, all of you. You satanic liars and deceivers and destroyers of good food sources. I don't care. You just don't stand in my way in regards of health. I'm getting tired of it. You're using so much effort to just try to get what you want to help yourself getting into health again. But you have to stand and stand against that, right? You like murdering people, apparently. You like, helping this wicked system to murder people, right? It's overall the whole system, just bullshit system. Anyway, I'm done with it. You're murdering the weakest in society. You're murdering people in regards of sick people. Cancer patients. So-called cancer patients. It's fungus. But they don't want to tell you it's fungus, because if they told you it's fungus, their business goes haywire, because maybe we can just then actually do some treatment of fungus and actually save people and keep them healthy. No, let's not do that, because we need to murder people, right? And yeah, we can get money at the same time. You people are utterly corrupt, and you have your hands are full of blood. It's dripping like an ocean from your hands. And but it's just your job, right? Yeah, and you didn't get any education in mycology either, or very, very little, right? And of course, you don't know anything about diet either and all that. You know about bacteria and giving people, fungal poison, mycotoxins. Yes, that little pill in regards of called antibiotic is mycotoxins. That's fungal poison. Yes, and it heightens your risk of getting cancer. Well, no wonder, because you're taking fungus poison in a concentrated pill, and you have to be kidding me. All this bullshit. And I have just, I've just touched the tip of the mountain, the more you dig into it, the more bullshit you find. It's the same thing with the Roman Catholic Church, and of course everything keeps together. All roads leads to Rome, These Latin spouters, in white coats, Same thing in regards to Roman Catholicism, And the thing is, when they speak Latin and a little, Greek and all that, and sometimes mixes Latin words with Greek and all that, we, as the people, do have no understanding of what they're talking about. It's not because they are clever, you see. It's just because they know another language. Which is utterly bullshit anyway. It's just, So, anyway. It doesn't make you more clever just because you know a foreign language, If I knew Hebrew or Greek or whatever, it doesn't make me more clever than any other just because I know another language. It just means someone not knowing the language, and if I'm speaking it, don't understand what I'm saying, right? And that's exactly the same thing in regards to the medical mafia nowadays. It's like the Roman Catholic Church, where when it ran around, well, actually it's still doing it, ran around and slaughtering people for reading their Bibles in their own tongue and all that. Because you see, Roman Catholicism did not want people to read the Bible, because if they read the Bible, they would find out that the Roman Catholic Church is not Christian. You see, the Roman Catholic Church is the old Roman mystery religion of Rome. And of course it's collected together with Babylonian things, Medo-Persian things, and in regards to Grecian things, and of course itself is Roman. So you have all these four aspects in the beast, but primarily it's Roman. All roads leads to Roman. There's a lot of lies and Latin and lies. That's a saying we say in Denmark, but I don't think any Danish or very few Danish would have any clue of why they say it. Why they have a saying like that. That's like a saying we say, like, that's, if something is nonsense and all that, we say that's lies in Latin, And maybe we got it from our Protestant ancestors that knew something in regards to this wicked system. But of course, the Danish people don't care about the truth anyway, right? We don't care about truth. I found out that Danish people don't care about the truth. They just want to lie and deceive, and they puke all over the floor. They puke all over the whole thing. And the churches, these preachers, all those disgusting, smelly things coming out of the mouth of these preachers, Yeah, it's just incredible. They don't talk about who the Antichrist is. They might actually just be Freemasons, and of course, Freemasons is Satanist. It is Satanism. So you have a Satanist standing behind the podium, speaking. Or you have people actually not even believing the Bible because they are atheists and because they didn't get the job they wanted to in regards to the education. Well, they could always become a priest, If you don't get what you really want to do, you can always become a priest. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Bible or in regards, Yeah, what utter nonsense and bullshit, And marrying homosexuals, Yep. It's just all supporting homosexuals in regards of, going to a parade with, supporting this pride of homosexual. You don't read the Bible or what? The first thing you should do in regards to these so-called preachers or whatever they are, actually, or priests or shepherds or whatever, the first thing you should do with these wolves in sheep clothing was to give them the boot out of the congregation. Yeah, and choose someone that actually will stand for the truth. You could take a child, like 15 years old or 14 years, someone that can read, and get them up the podium and read the 5 books of Moses or the prophets or whatever. Just read from the Bible. Then they also learn to read as well. And instead of listening to these bullshitters that is out there, singing love songs to the Antichrist, right? Singing love songs to the Antichrist. So if you want to know where the Antichrist is, just look at the preachers singing love songs to the Antichrist, Look at where the so-called Protestants are now heading, because they're heading back to the Antichrist. So anyway, did I actually fix something in regards to food? I don't know if I started the thing. Oh yeah, I did actually. I have, anyway. So it should be hot. Yep, it's hot. Yes, let's get some meat. Some good meat. Without any sugar. Good red meat is wonderful when you have fungus because there's no sugar in it, and it seems to have something that works in it against the fungi. So when you take all the sauce away, the food that fungi loves, and that's sugar, you might see some pretty good things. And it seems like there's some other good things in the red meat. The red meat is the best thing, like cows or sheep. That seems to be the 2 best things to use in regards of fungus. In regards of fish and chickens, it doesn't seem to have the same positive effect. It doesn't really do it worse, in regards of there's no sugar in it. But the red meat, the cow meat and the sheep meat, is the best that I've found. I don't know in regards of goat meat. Goat meat might actually also, I don't know if it's red meat, But I think one of the reasons why it actually could be positive was maybe the content of zinc in the red meat. I'm not entirely sure, but it seems like there's more zinc in red meat than there is in chickens and fish. So that might be the reason why it works positively. It's not totally, but it absolutely has a positive effect. It's the best food source that I've found in regards of if you have fungus anyway. So after all these 19 years of, trying so many different things and going in the wrong direction as well and all that, but as far as I can see, one of the differences in regards of the zinc, and zinc is said to be antifungal, and actually also is said to help in regards of, not only antifungal, but also radiates the, the mycotoxins as well, which is fungal poison. It's just a word for fungal poison, It's fungus poison. Myco is meaning fungi, and mycotoxin. Toxin means toxins, So and they have all these big words and all that. I took a break of that. I've taken some weeks of break just to get. I had to have a break from all the research of fungi and all that. But a lot of words ends up going out of the brain. So you have to research things. To get. But of course, it is easier because you don't lose everything. But I'm like a full glass, and every time I fill something in it, something else goes out. It's kind of time wasting in some sense because you need to use so much time to relearn something when you get into the topic again. But yeah, it's just how it is. In my young days, I was pretty much I was an empty glass. I was just playing computer games and sitting and drinking. Hitler milk in regards of pasteurized milk, smoking and drinking. Not really a good thing overall. Would have been nice to be instructed in some good health tips, and in regards to the milk, I would of course have been drinking natural milk if they had allowed it to be in the shops. They don't even, it's not because people don't want to sell you raw milk, natural milk, and actually some of these actually in regards of, giving the cow some good, real food and so forth. Real cow food and all that. But they're not allowed to sell raw milk. Even if you can get soda pop and alcohol everywhere on every single corner. I can just look out actually, and I know there's one shop there and one shop there. That's two shops that sells alcohol, at least two. But they don't, you can't get milk. I need 100 kilometers away to get raw milk. That's the first place that I know of that I can get raw milk. It's, that's a pretty long trip in regards of a bicycle or, I don't have a car, and, if in regards to the transport and all that, that's still a long, okay, it's possible, right, in our days, but still, you have to be kidding me. You can get alcohol on every corner, like 24 hours a day, and I can't get milk? No, because milk, it's dangerous, We've been drinking milk for hundreds and hundreds of years, and now, out of the sudden, it's dangerous, right? It's the evil itself, Well, if there's something wrong with the milk coming out of the cow, maybe you're treating the cows wrong. Maybe you're feeding the cows something that is unnatural for it and giving it, antibiotics, or growth hormones or whatever, to make it grow quicker or whatever, mycotoxins, fungal poisons and all that. Maybe you are putting them very close together because quantity over quality, so sicknesses can go easier around, and maybe you're pushing the cows to the very limit of production of milk. Instead of quality, we have quantity, right? Because the more milk we can produce, the more money, right? Because this is not in regard, it's what an evil, sick world we live in, to say the least, And then, we can't even get, it's just incredible. So again, if there's something wrong with the milk, maybe you're treating the cows wrong. Maybe just a point of that, hey, you guys are treating the cows wrong, Yeah, so maybe instead of, symptom treatment, actually making the milk even worse, and destroying enzymes to take up good nutrition and all that, and destroy vitamins, so you're destroying enzymes and vitamins in the milk, and destroying the good bacteria as well. And then you end up, apparently, the bad guys, even if you kill off the bad guys, apparently it's the bad guys that actually begin to regrow in the milk. You see, there's no good guys to keep them under control anymore, apparently. So, according to some of the sources that I've seen, in regards to a professor that made studies in regards to that, apparently the bad guy seems to have the win on this. So after you annihilate the good and bad bacteria, the bad bacteria come back, and these are the ones that grow in the milk afterwards. And of course, you killed off the good guys, and apparently they are affected more than the bad guys in this sense. So Yeah, so you are annihilating a good food product on so many levels and corrupting it on so many levels. And people apparently don't care about good nutrition, and we're just getting sicker and sicker and sicker by the day, and not being told that fungi in this world is a great health issue. Yes, all those people with cancer, it's just another name for a fungal infection as far as I can see. So, if you feed a cancer patient sugar, that should be utter criminal. Well, as far as I see it is criminal. I guess a child that don't want to do what. Yeah. Anyway. Of course, we're selling our children over to Satan at the moment. It's incredible. It's just utter nonsense. But anyway, just to see how hard it is to get these, how I see other people that is just, they're trying to get the antifungals. Their white coat murderers won't give them antifungals. The natural remedies are hard, they're closing doors for natural remedies, so people have needs to fight to get that as well. You have all these so-called health authorities that's just ruining, and guarding, so we can get some real, natural food, and because it's just incredible. On so many, how many ways can you actually ruin a product? Apparently they really go for it. They really go for ruining on every single level. They're really doing hitting it on every single level. Instead of actually going out and if anyone wants to sell raw milk. Instead of going out and checking in regards to the cows, are they fed natural things and all that and so forward, and checking that. No. We need to annihilate the good living Jewish milk, We need to give it a Hitler treatment. We need to do a Holocaust treatment to this milk, if that's necessary, something is wrong with the cows. Something is being done to the cows that is, problematic, And so maybe you should look at how you're treating the cows, okay? But no, we can't do that. Apparently that's apparently no. We need to symptom treatment these things and make it even worse, right? It's the same thing with the medical system. It's all, bullshit, all... if they can keep you on a drug, it's big business. It's actually not only big business, it's very, very big business, And the money cow in Denmark, as I understand it, is something called Novo Nordisk in regards of diabetes. So I wonder what could be the thing in regards to getting diabetes that you need to, stick yourself and all that and get insulin. Well, maybe in regards of fungi and the poisons destroying the beta cells and all that, could that have anything to do with anything? You see, we're not looking at the cause, they're just symptom treating the things. And it's big business. It's really big business. If you take all the, it's like, Carlsberg, Maersk, and Lego together, that's 3 big Danish companies. If you take those together, Novo Nordisk is double the amount of earnings than those 3 companies combined. Maersk, Lego, and, I don't know how you say it in English, Lego. I always say Danish Lego, but that's Lego and what was Carlsberg, I think it was. So that's 3 big companies that are earning a lot of money, and yet Novo Nordisk in regards to diabetes is double the amount of earnings with these 3 combined. This, they're getting this information out because of, in regards, I guess, investors or something like that. So the information is out there in regards of what they earn. And hey, look at this, woohoo, yeah, it's going really good for us, Instead of actually maybe, let's fix the cause, so people don't get this. You see, that would annihilate a whole industry, and they don't, of course, it will actually, it will take some effort actually to, but there's a lot of money in regards of resources and all that, and a lot of people, working and all that, and apparently, as you understand it, people don't want to lose their job, even if they're part of a corrupt system and all that. Even if we could make people more healthy and all that, oh, but I will lose my job. Well, maybe you could get another job then, right? Maybe we could actually get some resources out of the system so we didn't need to work so much, or whatever, and actually help people a little and have more time with your family. But no, 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 no. That's apparently not. Nope, nope. That's a bullshit. It's just bull. By the way, this is cinnamon and resveratrol. Might not look so good, but it's antifungals. So natural antifungals. A little here and a little there and all that. Still pushing the pedal for getting over my fungus issues, and it will take some more effort to get it under control for sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to get over this, but I'll have to try. You can't just give up, right? And now I feel like I'm more on home base and all that. Of course, you could be killed at any moment but anyway, if you speak up about the truth, you might be murdered, because some people don't like, you speaking up about the truth and all that. That has been doing that for, centuries. The Roman whore, the harlot, being led by the beast of the number 666, who is the papacy. Yeah, every single man in that dynasty is representing the beast of the number 666, the Roman king, Caesar, and emperor, whatever you want to call him. The so-called King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You say he takes all the titles of God upon himself. He's the Antichrist. Yes, what does Antichrist means? Antifungal, antibacteria, and all that. What could Antichrist then mean? Against Christ. Yep. A wolf in sheep clothing. Well, actually, the greatest wolf in sheep clothing. And now people are getting deceived by this so-called sweet old guy, right? Oh, but he's so sweet, right? He says all these sweet things and all that. Yeah, well, read some history and you will see, some real history. And you will see that this wicked system is... You really need to wake up, people, But I guess, it's really hard to wake up people up because people don't want to know anything about these things, And you will quickly... I wonder how many children of the devil are out there working, when you write something true or truth, how how many are actually out there to respond to you and try to discount this truth, because it seems they are very effective. And Roman Catholics are allowed to lie, like Mohammedans are allowed to lie to defend their own, bullshit religion of Satan. It's like two sides of the same coin in regards of Romanism and Mohammedanism. Now, of course, Rome is the head. So anyway, yeah, there's some meat. It doesn't really taste that good, but, it's the cheapest option in regards of, if I could, I would eat ribeyes every single day, because ribeyes are yummy, 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 so that would probably be my preferred meat of choice. But anyway, yeah. So I'll need to figure out, I don't know, in regards of in regards of my, so-called doctor or whatever you want to call him, when he will, it's not like I have anything personal against the guy that I have now. I just have a problem with the whole system, pretty much, So that's that's pretty much the thing. It's a struggle to get what you want, in this system, and yeah. And yeah, again, if they just had the information, I guess some will just sweeten it up in regards of saying, well, they don't have that much education in regards of mycology, in regards of the study of fungus and all that. Well, that's not really my problem, is it? It's not. I didn't go to a school of many years. Just because they're not taught about mycology and all that. Well, maybe they should then get going in regards of learning about mycology. Maybe every single one in Denmark should maybe have some further study in regards of mycology. But at least it seems, I don't know if it's going, but it seems like they're opening up for the cause of fungi. If treatment doesn't work, think fungus. Yeah, fungus until proven otherwise. That's a FUBU head, as they call it. And yeah, but you see you have in regards of the inside the medical system and all that, they actually have some information on fungus that if so, that's nice. Hopefully it will get if the doctors would awake. But of course the whole system seems to be satanic bullshit in some sense. Just look at the symbols they're using. So yeah, I'm not totally. I don't have much faith in that system. Let me say it like that. So that's. So apparently my nystatin seem to have come from Germany, which is nice. They have a lot of different products of nystatin. Now, nystatin is a poison from bacteria that kills fungus. And apparently it's the least dangerous things that they have in their disposal. Apparently I read a German source that said you couldn't overdose on this. I don't know, but that was what it said. The thing is, it works primarily local. It works from the mouth to the butthole. I love, that's the great English word, butthole. Anyway, so it works from the mouth, down to the butthole. Now, of course, if you're taking it as a pill, that might be that's the fluid thing where you can, fix it around the mouth before you swallow it and all that, to kill any fungus up here and all that, or in the mouth. It tastes like, it actually doesn't taste bad. I think it actually tastes pretty good. It tastes a little like candy, I think. Licorice and a little peppermint. That's what I feel like it tastes like. So if you didn't know what it was, it actually isn't that bad. And I guess it wasn't that bad overall. But that's from a bacteria. And of course, the world of bacteria and fungi, they fight against each other and all that. So, and that's of course the problem when you put fungal poison into yourself and destroy all the good bacteria that actually keeps that polices the fungi. What do you think when the police is gone and all the criminals is still around? That actually, the criminals are actually doing what they should do as long as there's police around, right? But when you remove the police, what do you think happens with those criminals? They go haywire, and yep, that's seemingly what is happening in regards of us. And they know that when you give antibiotic, as they call it, they know there's a greater risk for women getting women issues, and then of course they can give them fungal remedies for that, instead of actually maybe just stopping giving the fungal poison in the first But anyway, nystatin is a poison from bacteria that kills fungi. So it's a natural remedy, and apparently it's not that dangerous for a person. But anyway, it does kill different kinds of fungi and all that. I don't know if you could actually kill something that might actually be needed in your gut biome or whatever. But in any case, apparently that's. But it seemed like we have a lot of fungi issues in the whole world pretty much, and we are overlooking it. But anyway, you can get that from Germany, at least if you live in Denmark. Apparently they only send to Denmark. I thought they would send to all Europe, but apparently the pharmacy only sent to Denmark. But you can get it pretty cheap in Germany, and there's so many flavors compared to in Denmark, as far as I can see. So, and it's cheaper as well. So, yeah, I don't know how they can have so many products in Germany, and yet in Denmark we don't have that many products of nystatin, and why? Yeah, well, anyway. I guess we don't need that many products if we actually just. But of course, you need a subscription for that as well. So that's nice. You can actually go to Germany without the subscription. So yeah, it's this this store man, like that you have to get around, to allow you to get what you want, right? Just. And yeah, so nystatin seems to have come around, but I was at the state thing and all that. They needed to check up on me apparently, and just to hear how it goes and all that. And of course, I'm always willing to tell them. I love talking, and so I don't have any. So we talked a little about these different things and all that, I think she had enough of me for sure, on so many levels. But you have to. Any case, so yeah. So while I was out, apparently the postman must have been around, and so I need to get that. But they're pretty quick from Germany in regards to coming around, in regards to the nystatin, so that's nice. So at least one can get that. It's harder to get the diflucan. If you can't get the doctor to prescribe it, you need to go to Ukraine, and because sadly you can't. They won't. They are not allowed to apparently send it, as far as I was told. I got a hold of, and it's pretty expensive compared to if you could actually get it, for example, in Denmark, right? And it's interesting because these pills are it probably doesn't cost them much to make them, right? And but you can really see a fluctuation in regards of how much you need to pay for. Just if you need one cure pill and all that, it can nearly cost as much as multiple pills another place in regards of, so you really have to be careful in regards of, but at least in some of the nations you can actually it's allowed to buy one pill, so if you go to the pharmacy you can actually buy one pill, and I think it was one pill that you were allowed to get. I think in England you could get three. Well, I guess that was nystatin. No. Maybe it was actually diflucan in England as well, where you could get 3 pills. But I'm not sure they actually were sending to Denmark. I remember something in regards of, and Norway had something, but I think you could get only one. You are not only allowed to buy one, and of course it was incredibly expensive compared to what they actually cost. So you can really see how they are, what shall we say, scumming the what do you call it in English? Scumming the what's it called? I don't know, the fat or something like that. So it's really easy to see when you have looked on different products in regards of prices, and see how different and how incredible it can go up and down. So now at the moment I'm looking into trying to get some more diflucan and do another hit to the fungus, and hopefully get it even further back. And again, you're pretty much on your own in regards to these things, because people don't believe you, and they don't believe you. There's no support for these things. You're standing alone, and it took me 19 years to figure out overall in regards of getting. I feel like I'm a little on getting on home base in some sense, or home field or whatever. Now I'm not into sport and all that, but I think that's what you say, right? Home field. When you're playing on the home play, whatever. But yeah, feeling like after the the 4 weeks, nearly 4 weeks of, or 27 days of diflucan, I and all the other antifungals and all that, it seems I'm heading in the right direction. I but I am afraid that it actually will, you see some sources that talks about, people are using diflucan and they don't use it long enough. And because they don't use it long enough, they still have fungi, and then the fungi comes back. Now, of course, I'm on a diet that they probably would not. They were, the people that are, they probably just eat standard food and all that. And of course, if they eat standard food and feeds the fungi, it could quickly relapse and come back, and I'm not going to do that. I know what could happen if I eat something wrong, and I pretty much have a good idea what to eat and what not to eat now. But that's still a long learning process in regards to these things. But yeah, it's kind of overwhelming, but little by little, and but I'm afraid that it might, strike back. In regards of come back. It was utterly horror what is it called? Not horrifying. Well, I guess horrifying could maybe be used as well, but it was that was just it. The itch was so harsh. I had itching all over my body, and it was just terrible, utterly terrible. My head, my legs, pretty much all over most of my body had itching, and it was just horrible at the explosion from my breast. I knew it had, at some point it went up to my breast, after it was like a sack underneath my ribs that at some point it punctured, and, I could feel like there was this thing in my, that was, something, round thing, whatever, and it punctured, and it went to the left and the right, and it went around my ribs, and then made a U-turn directly down in my breast. Now, I don't know why it just didn't jump directly up in I guess that must be in regards of the flow, how they can go around and all that, but I could feel them. I could feel whatever it was. I could feel it go to the right and the left, and I could feel them go up around my breast and make a U-turn and down directly in my breast, and and fix themselves. And then of course other issues came after that and all that. So so I knew there was something in my breast, and it just exploded from there all over my body, and just the itch. I didn't have the itch before. I didn't have the itch. Besides my main point. My main, of course, in regards of the standard thing, in regards of my head and all that, but not like this, not like what it actually, came out. Now, of course, the itch downstairs in regards of the male part where all of the things began, that's one thing, But in regards of body, the body, in regards of itching and all that, I didn't have that before the explosion. And it's just exploded. I've been going to the bakery 5 days in a row and buying bread, and 2 of the times I bought something that was sugary as well. It was really just the bread itself should feed the fungi and all that. So I knew it was stupid, and I don't know why I did it, And I remember it was interesting. It was like on the 5th day, something like something that a thing that was like, what do you want with your life, or something that tried to disturb me for actually taking this food, and I just flicked it off. I just flicked it off, and like, yeah, let's get up and have some food. You have these, I guess some women seems to have more of an issue with the cravings. They seem to be more emotional, to having a harder time to to stand against these things. But anyway. So I just, wanted the things and all that, and yeah, and it exploded. But yeah, so again, I still have it, I can still, feel, for example, on the nose and all that, a little itching there on my hand and arms and all that, and on my legs and all that. But it's, it has gone off from up here to low, so it's still there, but it's much, much, much better, So hopefully, if I can get some more diflucan and some berberine, and of course, see what else I have of antifungals and continue the treatment. Hopefully, over the next many months, because apparently it takes time to, but hopefully I can get it turned around and begin to really see improvements. Of course, this is a pretty good improvement already, but I'm still afraid that I'm not sure if it's actually getting better or getting, if it's slowly getting worse or slow, it's really, it's hard to figure out if it's actually, it is on a low state, but the question is it actually regrowing at the moment, or is it, going the right direction? It's really hard to say, but I'm pretty much doing what I can do to do whatever I can to still, and trying different antifungals, natural antifungals and all that. So it should be heading in the right direction, but I think 4 more weeks of diflucan and berberine, as they work synergistically together, even if the fungi have become resistant to the diflucan, the berberine and diflucan works together in unison to kill the fungi. Now I don't remember all the data in regards of course I can't remember the word, but the thing is that the diflucan attacks something I can't remember the name of. I don't know why it doesn't, and that obliterates the fungi. It makes it explode and all that, pretty much. And any case, but it also apparently does so it cannot produce this thing. So even if the fungi is resistance to the diflucan, because the fungi have a way of, what shall we say, they have a way of, in the beginning, for example, if you take a remedy against fungus, they have a way of being able to begin to just have no effect on them, So what works in the beginning might stop working, which seems to be actually the case on many things in regards to it. So you start using something and it seems to be doing something and then stops working, pretty much, It's very sad. But even if it actually gets resistant to diflucan, and it might actually be resistant to diflucan from the very beginning, because as I understand it, there was like 7% chance that it's already resistant to the diflucan. But even if it's resistant to it, when you take it with berberine, it still works in regards of, because the diflucan goes in and stops the production of the fungus, so the fungus cannot produce extra of this thing, which I can't remember what it's called, and that's the only way that the fungi can defend against the berberine. And both of these are antifungals. Berberine is a natural antifungal. So you see, when you take both of them, they go in and they work in unison to kick the butt of the fungi. And apparently it seems like that the fungi cannot become resistant to this. I need to read more about this and all that, but it seems like the thing is, the diflucan again stops the fungus from producing this very thing that is the only thing that it can do to go against the berberine. That's the only defense. If you take berberine, which is also an antifungal, the only thing the fungus can do is to produce more of this thing to stand against the berberine, and thereby can become somewhat resistant, as I understand it, to the berberine as well, as it just produces more of this. But when you have the diflucan and take the diflucan with it, the diflucan goes in and stops the production that the fungi cannot produce this more of this thing, which I still can't remember. I should be able to remember, because you have what you have in regards of, I think it was in regards of the cell, what's it called? We have, I can't remember the word, again, it's some weeks ago since I need to restudy a lot of things here, but anyway, but I understand the principle in it, and so maybe, again, it doesn't seem like it seems like it will work in any case then, so it might not actually be able to, become resistant then to it, as far as I can gather. I don't know, maybe it can, but as far as I have read, this is like a solution to really take it out. Now of course there's different fungi species and all that, and this is in regards of primarily Candida albicans. So that's the thing that the diflucan primarily, is used for. I think I got that right. Yeah, and of course the Candida albicans is the foremost, fungal infection of man. So, but there are different other Candida species and all that. But overall, if you can get the main guy down, right, and you just take natural antifungals as well, and of course berberine. I wonder how many fungi berberine actually works against. Besides, the thing is, plants apparently also have problems with fungi, right? You see the fungi attack the fruits and all that, after. So apparently the plants have natural antifungals against fungi, so the fungi doesn't, take them down. Yeah, and berberine, I think, is one of those. Resveratrol is said to be another. To actually be one of these natural remedies to go against, the fungi, so it doesn't get, there's a lot of sugar in grapes, right? So, any case. Well, this is the resveratrol, by the way, and I found out I took way too much, apparently. At least I haven't tried the resveratrol in regards to grapes, because you might be able to take higher doses of that, and then you are actually able to in regards of this, because this is from nutweed, and nutweed apparently have some product that can give you diarrhea, and I can, if I take enough of this, I get diarrhea. So, so if you just take a little spoon of this, it seems to work without getting you diarrhea. But I was taking a pretty big a dose, when I was taking it, and it just gave me diarrhea every single time. So you really have to be careful in regards to this product, this expensive product, and of course you don't want to lose 1 single gram of it, because again it's pretty expensive. Now the thing is, it doesn't really taste of anything, so what I usually do is just put it in the bottle and put water in it, and you don't taste it. It's tasteless pretty much. Now you can put some cinnamon in the thing as well and all that. I tend to do that as well, and I've tried different forms of cinnamon. And I must say, the best cinnamon that I think in regards to taste-wise, and actually is the cheapest, by the way, is the so-called dangerous cinnamon. You see, the dangerous thing that is said to be in the cinnamon is actually the thing that makes it taste good, that gives it the taste, And of course they make a medicine of this so-called dangerous thing and all that. Whatever. And then people call it, oh, this is real cinnamon and that's fake cinnamon and all that bullshit. No, it's cinnamon. Cinnamon is cinnamon. It's, the so-called fake cinnamon is real cinnamon. So yeah, but I guess one could probably incorporate both things and all that. But in regards of giving liver damage and all that, I would like to see some evidence for that. Oh yeah, they got a research paper in regards of mouse, and I actually, I tried to get information from them in Germany, but I never gotten anything back from them yet. I wonder why. I asked them about what they, I wanted to see the report and in regards of what they had been feeding these mice besides, and if they knew of any other report in regards of cinnamon doing damage in humans in regards of liver damage. We are not mice, I don't look like a mice, do I? Mice is an unclean animal and it's not a human, it's just, give me a break. So if you're saying that, we can get liver damage in us because the one single test in Germany was finding liver damage in mice, you got to be kidding me. And what else did they feed the mice? Because I know these researchers are not always, you really have to be careful. Oh yeah, meat gives you cancer, but we fed the mice something that actually gives them cancer, anyway. But we get to the conclusion that they got cancer because they ate the meat. This is the insanity that we have around, and thereby I have no trust at all in Well, you really have to discern or try to. I want to see all the information. I just don't want to just accept things just because some. Yeah, you have to be careful. Um, so there we go. I guess these special soldiers of Satan are probably in our days very, very sophisticated in regards of murdering people, making it look like natural death and so forward. We know in the past what kind of remedies they used, and in our days, with all the information and the knowledge we have, they are probably a lot more sophisticated in making it look like that you died of natural means and so forward. And of course, they are putting all this information out there that we are then using a lot of time on. And people think they get fat of eating sugar. You have to be kidding me. And people think this. You don't get fat of sugar. You can pretty much just eat sugar and drown in sugar without getting fat. It's the combination of eating sugar and fat that makes you fat. You see, when you get all the energy from the sugar and you get fat, well, the body will store the fat. But look at the people eating fruit and vegetables, and only eating fruit and vegetables, which I was one of them. You don't take up, you're not getting fat. You're slimming down. It doesn't matter how much you eat of fruit and vegetables, you're getting slim. You're not getting fat. You got to be kidding me. Anyway, you just look at people. It's interesting because people are pointing out that these people that eat fruits and all that, they're becoming skin and bones and all that, and yet they don't realize that they're eating a huge amount of sugar, and these people are not getting fat. They're actually slimming down to skin and bones. And yet it doesn't strike them that maybe it's not the sugar that makes them fat, But of course, sugar feeds fungus. So again, yes, I'm not pushing for pushing sugar and all that. I'm just in regards of when people say you get fat of sugar and all that. That's bullshit. It's utterly bullshit. It's not true. It's just not true. It's the combination. It's the combination of the sugar and the fat that makes you fat. It's just eating sugar alone, a diet that is based on sugar. Like fruits, for example, and you're only eating fruits, for example. You can eat as much as you want without getting. You will lose weight. This can be observed in multiple people, and lots of people out there doing different weird things as I was as much, doing, because we're trying different things to get healthy and all that, and ending up destroying our health even further, and it's very sad because we're getting misinformation out there. I think the best diet would be natural, an antifungal, knowing in regards of antifungal, an antifungal diet, that would probably be the best way to go. Natural products with a lot of nutrients, quality over quantity, and taste-wise, tasting good, right? There's the cucumbers we buy from Spain taste bad. The Danish ones are tasting better, but still, if you try cucumber from the garden, you know the difference. And these cucumbers from Spain just taste bad. They taste of like watery thing. I'm one that eats cucumbers a lot. I just sit there and eat it, right? It's low on it's still it's pretty low in sugar, but still have some sugar. Taste wise, the ones from Spain, if you just use a cucumber and take some slices off and all that on whatever, you probably won't notice any difference. But if you're eating a whole cucumber, you will notice that the taste doesn't seem so good. So, but that's again, I guess, quantity over quality. It's just incredible. So Anyway, so I need to see if I can get find the product. I actually found out that the product that I got, has the website in England. So I'll see if I can, see what prices there is in England and see if I can make them ship to Denmark and hopefully not have any problems with the authorities that is there, of course, to serve my health, right? And protect me from my own self. And, yeah, whatever. So, yeah, so I'll have to check that. So that will be interesting. Now I did, in the past I did higher doses of this because I knew the diflucan would go out of the system 7 days after. So I did higher doses of this than was actually, that was actually, they say 1 to 2 capsules a day, and I think I did 12 one of the days, and that was, that seemed to be a little too over the mountain. So if I can just get some diflucan, I'll just keep to 1 to 2 a day, maybe 3. That 1 to 2 to 3 or whatever, over the day to keep it working. But 1 to 2, just having it, at the side, just at least. But yeah, 12 was way too much. That was. But yeah. Not that I died of it and all that, it was not totally, but you can feel that, okay, it might be a little too much, so yeah, but yeah, so I'll see if I can get that and see if I can get some more diflucan, and again, I have the nice statin from Germany, and then I'm ready to do another, beating of the, fungus. Anyway, have a good one, all of you. I need to go. I need to go to the toilet, I can feel. So it's pressing a little here. So may Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua be a most precious pearl, and the Spirit of truth be in us all, Amen. Have a good one, all of you. And just, whatever coins is given, let's stand for whatever we have and use them in regards. There's a lot of bullshit out there, and there's a lot of deceptions out there, and we have to take care. Anyway, have a good one, and bye-bye. Shalom, as they say in Hebrew.